Hey guys, welcome back to the Bussedamove YouTube channel. We are in South Georgia together for the first time. We are together on a Bussedamove YouTube recording. We were going to do a live video, but since we're in South Georgia, the internet connection is super weak, and so to save you guys the hassle of seeing a pixelated video and to save us the embarrassment of creating a pixelated live experience, we decided to do a recording. And we'll go through some of the questions that you guys submitted via social media. And side note, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. But we're also on Facebook and Instagram as @Bussedamove. So go ahead and do that too if you can. We'd love it. We'd love you forever. And so we'll just jump right in. So most of them will be answered by me because I'm the one doing most of the work. So unfortunately. Oh, by the way, in case you haven't figured this out yet, this is Victoria. We are husband and wife together building Bussedamove, and we are building it for ourselves and for our little dog babies. We have Miko, who is a 13-year-old Chihuahua at the recording of this video, and we have Muñeca, which is a full-blood mix.
Full-blood mix?
She is
That's not a thing.
She is a Chihuahua and Rat Terrier mix, and she is 18 years old at the recording of this video, and she only understands Spanish, so that's super fun. We did a senior dog rescue at 17 years old, and so that's super fun. So the first question submitted via Facebook is, where is this being rebuilt? It looks like you're doing it on the street in your neighborhood. Have you run afoul of your HOA yet?
That's one I can answer. So in would it be the title sequence?
Yeah, in the title sequence.
Title sequence of our YouTube channel, there's a picture in our subdivision with the bus behind us, and I'm going like that, pointing to the bus. The bus was literally there for like 2 hours. That was when we brought it home for the first time. So no, our HOA does not hate us because it's not there. It's in South Georgia, right here.
Fun facts about this.
Story.
Oh my gosh. The day we drove it home. I've referenced it in a few of our other videos, and I just realized I'm not wearing my wedding ring. Because we spent a lot of time working on the bus today, and I had caulking and glue and stuff. So we are married, and I love her.
Yeah.
Fun. So anyway, so we were coming down the hill to our house in our subdivision. It was me and my dad after our terribly long adventure of 8.5 hours to Moyock, North Carolina from Suwanee, Georgia, and then about 14 and a half or so back. And so we were dead. I mean, it was pretty much a 2-day adventure. And it just so happened, because it's hilarious and life is awesome, that we pulled up to our house, which happens to be one of the 3 neighborhood bus stops, mind you, which is hilarious. But we pulled up about 30 minutes after the bus is supposed to run, and all of a sudden our neighbor to the right of our house, I look out the window and I'm like bloodshot eyes, like I'm so tired, just trying to park so I can go in and sleep, for the first time in 2 days. And all of a sudden this lady's running at our bus with a violin.
And yelling at the bus.
And yelling and like knocking
wait.
on the door of the bus as I'm trying to park in front of our house. And we open the door and it's just my dad and I that get out, and the look on her face was hysterical.
It was funny.
So
we're like, not the bus.
But yeah, we're totally not building it there, which it'd be amazing if we were building it there, but we're not. So we're driving 250 miles to Valdosta, Georgia, and then 250 miles back at least once a week. So fun times. Question number 2, what are you going to do about the windows? How will you insulate, air conditioning, floor plan?
I can say about the windows, I don't know much about any of this because I'm like literally kind of not participating. I'm all on board, just not participating. But windows, we bought double paned insulated RV windows. So that was a huge thing for me because I did not want to freeze or burn up in our bus. So that's that. Nice.
And also fun fact today. I mean, I think it's fun. I don't know. While we were working on the bus this afternoon, I got a call from the freight driver, and our air conditioner was delivered today. So
Yes.
it's cool that this question was submitted. So we actually got a Pioneer mini split, and it's not a ductless mini split. That's just the guy on the wall with a couple of vents. It's a ducted, not abducted. We did pay for it, and it's a ducted mini split. So we're gonna put it right above our refrigerator, I believe, and kind of a central location in the bus, and we'll have ducks. Ducks, not ducks.
Right,
We're trying to
right.
get our ducks in a row to get this bus finished. So the ducts, like duct tape, will run forward and backwards in the bus. And we got for those of you nerds that are looking for actual specifics, we got a 12,000 BTU cooling and heating unit. If you do the specs for the square footage of our bus, we really only needed 6,000 BTU, which seems ridiculous considering a lot of people put in a lot higher than, way higher than even the one that we bought. But we had some pretty solid intel from a guy that we value his opinion, and he said that it doesn't work like you just buy as much as you can get and it'll be more efficient because it'll work less, which is what we thought. But the mini split is an inverter, so it actually works as much as it needs to work in order to do it. So if it needs to only be 2,000 BTU for the moment, it slows all the way down to there, and then it ramps on up to the max that it can do. But the solid advice was don't get one bigger, because you need to get one that's specifically matched for your space, because it dries the air in proportion to the air that it conditions. So hopefully we'll be able to combat the condensation problem that most of schooly people have. Like most of the people that we read about that have AC and heat and stuff in their schoolies talk about condensation and how they're constantly mopping up water and stuff, and that is by no means something that we're interested in.
Absolutely not.
So we are trying to fight that from the outset, and hopefully it works, and we'll let you know. We'll keep you updated, but we're obviously not there yet.
Sorry.
We'll show a behind the scenes of this video, I think, because a lot of people are asking if our set is green screened. If you've seen any of our other videos,
It's so not green screen.
it's not green screen. We put in a lot of work, and I'm actually freezing to death
Me
right
too.
now.
And my hair is tickling my face. Sorry. So
Nice. Like this.
yeah, no, stop. That's why I'm doing this. I'll run back there so you know it's not green screen.
Nice. We'll do that in a minute. So let's see. Insulation. We are bouncing back and forth on what insulation we're going to use between, is it Havelock wool, like the natural wool, and then...
I'm pretty much I'm not all about that because
Yeah.
it has an animal smell to it for a while.
It's going to smell like stinky sheep up in here.
I mean, nothing against it. I hear it's amazing. Our friends Kat and Mia have it in their van and they love it.
Shout out Kat and Mia. Love you dudes.
Love y'all. And a lot of people have it, but I just don't think it's for us. I don't know why.
So we're looking at rock wool at the moment, and that might be where we land. Floor plan, I think I still have that image, but we're going to do a side hallway. So we chose that because we're going to be living in this full time for a little while. Maybe not traveling so much, but definitely living full time. So we wanted a larger bathroom. That's a little selfish of us probably, but...
I don't care, but he's 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm only 4'10", so it doesn't matter to me. But
So we needed a big bathroom, or wanted one anyway. So we're doing a side hallway so we can have kind of the biggest bathroom possible. And that's just what we're doing. So that'll be fun. So this is probably my question. Number 3 is what skills, resources, and cash are required to make it happen? All the skills. Every skill.
I have no skills in this area.
So, reaching way back in the vault, one of my first earliest ambitions of what I wanted to do with my life was I wanted to be a carpenter. I thought that would be fun. And not just framing houses or something like that. I wanted to build furniture, I think. So, I mean, I'm talking when I was a kid. It was either that or make submarines and, anyway, one seemed a lot more feasible. Anyway, and then I found music, and then the rest is history. So, but I grew up on a farm, and we built and fixed anything that we needed. And then my family is a resourceful family, and like my dad's mom can make like craft stuff out of anything, and it's weird. So like we can just, I don't know, like it's an intrinsic Sims family trait, I guess. So with that, there's welding, there's carpentry, there's electrical work, just anything like that. And I think.
But you also do all that stuff with your job as well.
Well, there's some of that.
The film industry.
We're kind of at a point where like I lean on all my skills for all of my life. I've heard it one time said before that your gift will prepare the way for you, and as it turns out, several of my gifts make us a living. So, so we do that a lot. And so anyway, there's been. Like I've never built a school bus into a tiny house before, but there's nothing that there's nothing that I've done yet that I haven't done before in some other context. I don't really know how to word it other than that. Resources. So man, time. The biggest resource that this takes is time. And the second place, which is a close second place, is money. So definitely time though. Whatever time.
Resources like where we're buying this stuff.
Well, the next question is cash required to make it happen. So I don't know. So we'll talk about both. So resource other than time and money. That's pretty much what it is. But so we dove in head first into the online community. So there's Schoolie Nation, there's Schoolie Hub, there's School Bus Conversions. These are Facebook groups, private Facebook groups. So we are part of those. And if you're just curious about this, just go there. There's
super helpful.
Ridiculous amounts of information.
The search option. Don't like post a billion questions,
right?
Because
people can get a little snippy.
Well, and it's just annoying because most of them have been answered, and I mean, I post sometimes if I don't find what I want, but I always use the search option first. So
that's a solid resource. And then YouTube. I mean, we're certainly by no means the first people to do this and talk about it on YouTube. And so yeah, go to YouTube, man. It's okay. Very, very casual right here. So I believe this is asked in question number 4, so we'll just go on into it. I was going to talk about the money that we have invested. So
it can be anywhere from $3,000 to $300,000.
I don't think anybody's built a $300,000.
You don't know their life.
I don't know their life. So this guy went on to ask, is it some of the skills used are metalworking, arc welding, which is yes. 6 months. Like, is it going to take 6 months? Definitely not, because we've been at this for 6 months and
I wish
beyond. I wish it was only 6 months, but so something that I do to justify our build all the time is, even though we've been working on it since Mother's Day weekend of 2019, and it is currently the 3rd weekend of December in 2019, we've only been working on it on the weekends. And it's only been 19 weekends, so it's 38 days. So for where we are at 38 days is pretty solid.
Especially because you don't get full days of those 38 days.
Yeah, it's like a day and a half.
Because of all the driving, the
so
10-hour round trip.
So it's the 9-hour round trip. So
9, 10, whatever.
So he's asking, is it $50,000? So this is a tricky question for us in our situation, because it's not the money that we've spent on the bus necessarily that's killing us. It's all the extra money. And we're not being killed. That's a bad way to word that.
It just hurts.
It stings a little.
The waste of money that
we've
wasted money on, like, insurance with the bus just sitting here doing nothing.
So we're really big about insurance, and we want it to be insured. We want it to be right. And as of right now, we technically have a title that says our bus is a motorhome, but our insurance company isn't going to touch it until it kind of actually resembles a motorhome. So until then, we don't have a lapse of coverage. We have commercial insurance, which
is ridiculous.
It's like $200 a month, which is
for
awful.
it to just sit here.
For it to sit in one spot,
and it never moves.
It's cranked up one time since June.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Not because it can't crank up, just because
we don't need to.
We don't need to crank it up.
So the other big thing is the travel. In our particular situation, we've talked about driving 500 miles a weekend. I've spent about $2,300 just in travel to get to the bus to work on it. But the good thing that I guess people would want to know is, like, I mean, our bus, we're kind of going all out in a couple of areas, and we're also building it green, which is something we may talk about in a second. We're trying to do no VOCs, no smells as much as possible.
Which everybody said it can't be done, and it can be done.
It absolutely can be done.
Absolutely can be done. I have chemical sensitivities, and you might not think it can be done, but anything can be done, and it might be ridiculously expensive, and maybe that's it can't be done, but for us that doesn't matter. It can be done even if it's ridiculously expensive, and we will do it.
And it's worth the investment. Your health is on the line.
Absolutely.
So
I don't want to smell formaldehyde and live in a box with formaldehyde and VOCs and all that. I'm just not going to do it. So
don't cut corners. Do whatever it takes to protect your family, and even if that's just pets, or if it's you without a spouse,
babies.
or especially if it's your human children.
Yes.
Definitely take any precaution necessary to keep them safe and keep them healthy.
We will probably do a separate video on this, but we've even used no VOC, no odor caulking. Like down, we're talking like down to stuff that won't even be, that's going to be behind the walls and stuff. Like it can be found and it can be done. It's expensive, like 3 times the price, but that's just important to us, and we budgeted that in already when we decided we were going to do this. So it's not a big deal because, like I said, health.
Nice. And so all in to that point, I mean, we are sparing no expense when it comes to that kind of stuff, but it's not killing the bank as well. Like, all in, I think all the receipts on our bus, on Bussedamove, will total in the ballpark of about $18,000.
And I'm very into recycle, reuse, finding things on Facebook Marketplace, that kind of stuff. Like, I'll find what I want, like, online, and then I'm like, I'm not going to pay, $1,300 for this hammered copper sink, and I'll just keep looking on Facebook, and I found the exact sink that I wanted for like $125 or something like that. So,
and we met this awesome dude who's a professional stand-up comedian named Mario Torre, and he's hysterical. So
love him and his
wife.
Guy. They're legit
Super
awesome.
fun
If you're
people.
ever in Atlanta, or if he's traveling,
he
tours.
Look him up.
Just if you ever can go see him, their family's just really legit.
All right, so we're moving right along. This is part B to question number 4. He's asking about metals, like, are all the mods with carbon steel, not stainless, aluminum? Any thoughts about steel, metal, etc.?
I don't know what any of that means. Run-on sentence. No offense to whoever wrote that.
Right, so it is all carbon steel. It is all not stainless, not aluminum. That would be one of those things where it could jump up in price tremendously. Because ideally, like in a perfect world, like the skin of the bus, I would have gone back with aluminum sheet metal just for a weight capacity or standpoint. For the same amount of sheet metal that we have on the side of the bus currently, I think if that was sheet aluminum instead of sheet steel, I would say that the weight would be cut down by almost 2/3. Which would be amazing. But it's also about 4 times as expensive. So that wasn't something that we were thoroughly committed to this time. And I say this time because I always joke that our second bus would be amazing, but I'm probably never doing it again.
No.
So it's this one or bus. Bus. To move.
I get it.
Get it? I made a joke. So he went on to ask about trade war, economic conditions with regard to how they've impacted the bus house. I asked for clarity on this, and he asked about some of the trade stuff going on and the big deals that we're making overseas and stuff, and how that impacts the price. But I didn't build a bus 3 years ago, so unfortunately,
Is that somebody we know?
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any information on that, but all I know is that we built it with a budget, or we're building it with a budget that we created based on 2019 prices. So what that means for the future or the past, I don't know, but where we are is what we're doing. So how will the water and toilet stuff work? Do you have to install toilet waste tank, etc., like an RV would have? I should have proofread this.
This line right here is like so weird with my hair. Like,
Fun.
sorry, it's bothering me.
All right. If so, how would you procure and build? So that's a quick answer. The short version is like, instead of composting toilets and things like that a lot of schoolies have,
Which are green.
which are awesome, we are choosing the traditional freshwater, gray water, black water system. And gray water is for like all the sinks and the laundry. We're putting a laundry or a washing machine in here. And then the black water is the toilet. So we are doing a full RV water system setup. We haven't done it yet, but I mean, all the parts are on Amazon, eBay, those kind of places. And there's a lot of people that have their own videos about that, talking about how awesome their source was for tanks or whatever. But I'm okay with the prices that I've seen on Amazon Prime and eBay. So that's it. So how do you procure and build? I mean, you just do it. That's one of those skills that I don't like to use very often because plumbing sucks. So
Maybe somebody else can do it.
yeah, that might be the bring a friend day to the bus build. I just spit. You spit.
Not
Weird.
you.
Okay, so other utility plans. This is the fun one. Solar, batteries, or just RV campsites with electricity hookup. No, man, we're going to be living in this bus full time. So for the next probably year, once we move in. So other utilities, I'll probably have a small generator, and we're going to tuck it under the between the stair box and under the driver's seat. But we also plan to do solar, so we can you never know what situation you're going to be in, and so it wouldn't hurt to be prepared for both. But I'm leaning heavily at the moment. We have a 48 volt power inverter and power converter. It's made by Victron. It's probably the most expensive thing that we've purchased for the bus. So it's a 5,000 watt inverter at 48 volts for any nerds that care about the details of that kind of stuff. And then the fun, like a super fun thing is in the solar world, we didn't realize this at first, but in the solar and like off-grid world, it's a thing where people take Nissan Leaf batteries, the old hybrid cars, and they rewire the batteries in a certain configuration so that you come up with multiple 48 volt batteries that can run in parallel together. And you can stack as many of them as you can together as you want to, or as you want to buy, and you can have a battery bank however large you want.
Sorry, that hurts my butt.
It's okay. She's sitting on something that's super not comfortable.
Because I'm short.
Because she's short.
I'm trying to be tall like
All right, so lifestyle afterward. What will it be like? Stay in one place for months, or constantly on the move? Or better, what? Or even better, you don't know and may just stay put and drive to Alaska.
Alaska, probably not
Definitely not.
happening.
Whatever you feel like doing, because you live in a bus, you can do as you please. While that is true, we both have full-time gigs in the Atlanta, Georgia area that we are really committed to, and we like, and we both like what we do. And one of the fun things is Victoria gets invited with, she's a stand-in and photo double for child actors, and she gets invited to go to like Vancouver, or like she's been invited to LA a few times to do that, but we've turned it down just because of travel and things like that. If we have the bus, that opens up a neat option.
Yeah, I still don't like going to LA for that stuff. But nothing against LA. I love LA, but I just don't like traveling there for like 2 days to work and then coming back. But dude, I would go to Canada because that'd be cool. But not Alaska.
Probably not Alaska.
That's just
Not to mention the fun super fact if you're, or super fact, a fun, super fun fact if you're a nerd. We watched a tiny house thing about a couple that moved to Canada and bought a bus and wanted to drive across Canada. But what they don't teach you in school about,
You're bleeding.
I am bleeding. That's not what they don't teach you in school.
Bus wounds.
Yes, I busted skin and busted move.
Sorry.
Map projections, like Mercator projection, and that's the only one I can remember, so maybe I'm not the super map nerd. But they wanted to drive to Alaska, so they got in their bus, and this one little spot on the map that looks like it's only like this big was actually 900 miles. And so they didn't know. Anyway, so we're not driving to Alaska.
No.
Long story short.
But we will go other places to answer the other. We're gonna stay in one place on land, but if we want to go to Disney next weekend, not next weekend, but when the bus is done. We can go next weekend, sure. But
lifestyle, if I can interrupt. So lifestyle, as we've stated several times, like my parents live in South Georgia. We live in the Atlanta area. Victoria's mom and dad live in Tucson, Arizona. So our family is pretty well scattered, and we don't have anybody other than close friends that live in the Atlanta area. Anybody that we're related to lives far outside of our little bubble that we have in Atlanta. So this will be a fun way to like kind of load up everything and go do something and go see family. I'm super looking forward to driving to Tucson eventually to see her mom and dad and stay. And then like she has an aunt and uncle and some cousins that live in Deming, New Mexico, which is on the way to Tucson for us. And so we're just excited about getting to travel and do fun things. But as far as like permanency or whatever, like I'm pretty sure we're not just going to hit the road and never look back. Like
no,
we're not
we
really
love our jobs here in Atlanta.
We're not really those type of people.
Yeah, I'm not all about that life.
But so, and then I don't know that I've never said anything about this, but also with the lifestyle, we kind of always wanted, like, since I grew up on a farm, like I want to raise our children that we have one day, like the way that I was raised. And that's a lot of land, a lot of room to make mistakes and do ridiculous things and just kind of run around and have a fun time.
And I grew up that way as well. I didn't live on a farm, but I played in the swamps in Georgia and all that. And I want our kids to grow up like that for sure. For sure.
And so because of, we did mention it earlier, because of Victoria's specific health needs and things, the thought of us finding land that works for all of our wishes for children one day, and then a house that is built to the specifications that her body requires. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's improbable. So part of the Bussedamove project is a long-term plan where possibly we could buy land and then start to build a house, and then we'll already have the bus, and then it's kind of what's it called?
We'll build while we're there.
Like a lifeboat, so to speak. Like we'll have a bridge from where we are now, which is renting in a suburb, like in a cookie cutter neighborhood. We'll live in the bus for a while, and then eventually we'll build our little homestead. And so that's honestly as fun as it is building this, like it's more important to me. Like in my mind, we're already in month 12 looking for that property to start the next phase. Like I'm super excited about the day that we can have our actual little homestead that we're building. And then
my ears are cold because my hair is up now. Sorry. It's freezing cold.
It is so cold in here. But so I'm already there. Like I want us to have the homestead and stuff, and then just keep the bus to travel and to take to Alaska. Just kidding.
No. We don't like cold.
So this one guy continued, but I'm honestly most curious in the nuts and bolts engineering design considerations. Honestly, it's just you have a finite amount of square feet, and you have in our case, we have a finite amount of money. We wanted to spend less than $20,000. And so it's just kind of picking your battles and like where is it okay to really overspend in order to get what you want? Where is it okay to cut back? Where is it okay to find that sink on Facebook Marketplace? Where can you save money? Like maybe like for us, it's like cabinets. We're going to build our cabinets. We're going to get a zero VOC epoxy thing to make a really neat countertop out of. So we're not buying like marble or whatever. So we could have like a cool high-end finish without having like something like that.
Cork floors.
And we're going to have cork floors. We're building the couches, which is super fun because we're going to build a little cubby hole for the shoes. We're a shoeless house family, so we're going to be a shoeless bus house family too. So right on the way up the stairs into the bus, we're going to have a little.
Taking your shoes off if you're visiting us.
We're going to have a little spot to put our shoes. So like you can't just buy furniture like that. So we're going to build it, and it's going to be super fun. And the good news about that is it's kind of cheap to do that. Other than that, it's just making sure like the balance of the bus is fine. Like since we're having the side hallway, all of our weight of our bus will be here.
Me. No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
she's been meaning to talk to you about that. No, so our weight will be on the passenger side of the vehicle, so to speak. And then so our hallway will be this way by Bus Love. So it'll be a little leaning like this, kind of like I am now. It's probably not going to lean at all because these things are gloriously over-engineered. But to counteract that, like we're putting our battery banks on the side with the hallway. We're putting our water tanks on the side with the hallway. Our air conditioner mini split system our outer unit will be on that side. I just pointed at it. I don't know if you can see it, but.
And the stuff that's going to be on this side is not like it weighs a billion pounds.
Yeah,
you know?
none of it
it's
is
a
crazy
sofa.
heavy.
It's
Yeah.
a sofa.
And it's cabinets and a water heater.
But there's going to be cabinets over there. Like,
A few. The weight will be over here. So think of it like a ballast in a ship if you know anything about that. So really it comes down to balance. And so as long as you kind of figure out what everything weighs and I don't know, you can just kind of figure it out.
I should have put makeup on. My first time on the video and I have no.
Oh, it's okay. You're so pretty. Also, money. Just some ideas for y'all. Not too much to get into y'all's business, but if y'all want to educate about what it all costs to build, I think that's something people would value. I'm subscribed.
Well, thanks for subscribing.
I believe that is. We'll call him John C. Thank you for that, sir.
Like we said, it's going to be around 20 grand for us.
Yeah, so ours will cap at 20. Like we're not spending any more than that, and
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. Well, on the bus, we're not spending any more than that.
Right.
Travel and things and insurance. God.
Insurance.
So, the cool thing about this is that I have a title at our house that says 2002 Thomas Built Safety Liner Motorhome, which is awesome. And as soon as our insurance company sees legitimate progress and that they don't just see an empty like sardine can in here, we will have our bus insured at about $40 a month. And that's insurance, like vehicle insurance, but that's also like all of our belongings. That's full replacement of everything. It takes the place of homeowners insurance, renters insurance, and all of that, and it's $40 a month. It's super cool.
I just liked the $40 a month as opposed to over $200 a month.
Very, very cool. So we can throw a few numbers. So like our air conditioner costs about $1,300.
I didn't know they wanted specific.
I don't know that they do.
I thought like all
And then
in.
like the bus itself, people are like, how can you afford a bus? But like
The bus is like one of the cheapest things.
the entire bus, as it's set as a school bus, I mean like minus the stop sign and things, the bus cost us $3,900 and a trip to Moyock, North Carolina. So the bus is one of the cheapest parts. And then like I mentioned our inverter. I actually got a deal on that. It was supposed to be about $3,500. I paid $2,050.
How?
eBay. So they bought the 5,000 watt model, and when it came, they were like, you know what? I bet we should have the 15,000 watt model instead.
Oh, well, that worked out for us.
It worked out for us like a champ.
See, I don't know these things.
Yeah, so and we did some bargain basement deals. We got our $300 sink for what, like $50?
$100 something.
We got our refrigerator that normally was like $500. I think we paid $250 for it. Facebook.
Yep. Again, Facebook. She was moving into a little apartment like thing on their family's land, and then that went bad with her family, I guess. And so she moved out to a different apartment, and so the apartment she moved into already had a refrigerator, and she's like, I just need to get rid of it. I'm like, done. Same with our washer and dryer. It's a stackable one, and like the one that it's the exact one I wanted, which was $1,400 at Home Depot, and I'm like, I don't want to spend $1,400 for this tiny little stackable washer dryer, which it's the largest capacity they have in those, but I wanted it for certain reasons. That one, gosh, my hair in my mouth. Hold on. Ugh, sorry. And I just, like, literally every day I'm on Facebook thinking, like, I have, like, a list in my head, like, all the things we need. And so I just look in Facebook every single day. And then after about 3 months of looking, maybe 4 months of looking at, it popped up. And it was literally a guy another super cool guy that we met. And he flips houses, and he was like, I literally think it's been used like 4 times, and he did a whole cycle for us and in the washer and dryer, and it was the exact model and the exact one I wanted. And instead of paying $1,400, I paid $300, and we met really cool people again. So
super fun.
Yeah, so
I think that's been my favorite part so far is the people that you meet along the way.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think we haven't met anybody that hasn't been like legit cool.
Like the coolest person ever kind of thing. Like,
yeah, like not just like, oh, they're cool, they're nice people. Enough. Like, I'm talking like they're legit cool, awesome people. Like, we want to hang out with them, and like these people like love us, and they're like inviting us to their like, you know, like private Facebook groups of their neighborhoods and stuff, and like inviting us to their parties and stuff.
Super
like
fun.
Legit cool people. And like,
I don't think we'll be doing the polar plunge.
I'm not doing the polar
Never in my life will I do that. We got invited to that by
not
some of these people.
Not happening. But still, they were cool people. Those were the washer dryer people. And then what's his name? Our comedian friend Mario. Like, dude, like, yeah, like they invite us to his stand-up comedy stuff, and just such nice, like, genuine, cool people. Like, love them.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's been the highlight and the most underestimated part of the whole thing is like the people that you meet.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. And then we found the same thing on the online version of this community, like through Schoolie Nation. I mean, there are some turds on there sometimes. But,
yeah, some of them are. But we don't.
But there have been some really neat people, and like one of
Kat and Mia, like I met them. I met them through one of the Facebook groups.
Man, they're gonna have to pay us. We keep talking about
I know. I met them through the Facebook group somehow, because Kat is very knowledgeable in a lot of like she's ridiculous. I can't talk. Ridiculously knowledgeable in all this stuff. Not sure why. She's just really smart. Anyhow, and so like whenever I would ask certain questions, she would always like have like these really detailed answers, and I'm like, whoa, over my head, and I'd be like,
talk to William.
Talk to William. And so it just so happened that this summer they were coming up like past us and going up a little bit further into the mountains, and so like we met up with them twice and hung out with them, and they're just legit awesome people, like good people. So, and
I'll say something that's been really super fun, and we should probably be wrapping this up. We're going on 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
One of the coolest things so far is how almost circular it is, and everybody, like, if you've gotten help along the way, you pay it forward. And one of my favorite story to date is when we first got the bus, and I desperately wanted to do a roof raise, and then she desperately...
I was like, if you do a roof raise, I am never going in that bus. Like,
She's like, you can have fun living in it by yourself.
I was like, hardcore, no roof raise.
So...
Not happening, bro.
I was like, fine, whatever.
Have fun with your new wife. It was like, it got like...
I don't think she ever said that. She didn't say that to me anyway.
It was...
She probably...
I'm just kidding.
Anyway,
but no, it got intense.
This took a turn. Anyways, this guy, or not this guy, I had seen this bus that looked just like ours get posted, and specifically in the group Schoolie Nation a few times. And so I was, secretly doing screenshots and stuff, and like just kind of making a catalog of like, when I tell her that I'm gonna do the roof raise anyway, or something like that. Like,
no, that's how it went down.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, have fun with your new whatever.
No, it was intense. Like
was a struggle.
I group texted his mom, and cause they were all talking about it, and they're like, we're doing it. His mom and his dad and him, and I'm like group texting. I'm like, you know that I am not okay with this, and just so you know that it was bad. I was like so against it.
So I had this photo album on my phone of roof raises, and specifically of Thomas built safety liners, just like this one, because in my mind I'm like, if I keep showing her like these ones like ours, like she'll get inspired. I don't know, that was clearly a mistake, but
and they were cool.
They were cool.
I was just like, not happening. Like, I'm not doing that to our bus.
So, but this one in particular kept coming up, and I think it was just because it was the clearest picture. So the night that I told Victoria that, like, look, it's happening, I just have to, like, I have bruises on my forehead from hitting my face on the bus and just taking the seats out. So God help us if I have to do the whole bus like this. Or God help me anyway. But I showed her this picture, and it was a fine enough picture, whatever. And but it was like my inspiration to raise the roof on our bus. And it kind of showed what the skeleton of our bus looked like before we pulled too many of the panels off and things like that. And I mean, she learned to deal with it and love it. But fast forward back to, this was in June of 2019. So
which is December 2019.
It is December 2019. So then,
in case somebody's watching
5
this
years
in
from now.
2025.
So, but I posted in the same Facebook group in Schoolie Nation. I posted a picture of our front transition once it was finished. And it kind of started blowing up, and people are like, oh, this is the best one I've ever seen. And I was like, ha ha, we can do it. But then I started getting a private message by this guy, and he said, man, I need to know how you did this part of your roof raise. And so we talked, and it turned into a Facebook message conversation that lasted about an hour. And so in that time, we had gotten home from where we were, and I was out on a walk with our dog, Muñeca. And all of a sudden, this guy wrote one last thing, and he was like, I actually have a bus that's similar to yours. That's why I'm asking all these questions. And I was like, okay, cool. So, and I had sent him a few pictures of our bus, and lo and behold, he sends me the exact same pictures that I have saved on my phone as my inspiration board for our roof raise for our schoolie. It was the same guy. And so, like, long story short, like, the inspiration that we had to raise our roof came from this guy. And then he got stalled out on a part of his process while we finished ours. And over the course of 6 months, like, something that I did inspired him, and he finished his bus the same way that we did because of something that I did. So it's this forward motion, like pay it forward kind of thing. And it's super amazing. Like, it's a cool thing. And this guy messaged us on our Bussedamove Facebook channel the other day, and our Facebook page, and he's like, I need to call you right now. And I was like, okay.
Same guy?
Different guy. This guy lives in
Montana. He lives in
Billings, Montana, this guy.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we talked for about 45 minutes just verbally on the phone, and it was about roof raises and what he did. And he has the same bus that we have, just a few years newer.
Well, he wanted you to
And ultimately it culminated and he's like, man, can you just come do this for me?
Yeah, he wanted.
And I was like, man, I wish our life is not that mobile at the moment. But it was fun because like, I don't know, I've never built a bus before. Like I wouldn't call myself a bus building expert by any means, but I think the beauty of this is if you're one step ahead of somebody that has a question, you're still their expert. And it's really neat. And I mean, as long as that doesn't get carried away and people start giving out like terrible advice or something, it's a cool thing. And so it's...
Well, and you can also be like, oh my gosh, make sure you don't do this because we did this and it costed. It costed.
Yes.
It cost us like an extra 5 hours or something like that. So make sure you don't do this when you're doing this. Like, it's just be helpful. Like, because we've gotten so much help from the community and it's just pay it forward and help people out. My gosh, like, why wouldn't you want everybody to prosper? Like, come on. Let's all just be prosperous people.
Just be nice to each other.
Just be kind and be nice.
And I just remembered, and like I said, poor internet connection, I can't get on to see. I remember one of your people commented on the same post, and they had a few questions that were really awesome, and I didn't write them down. So can we take a moment?
Oh, yeah. One of my, like,
So talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Film industry people?
I don't know.
Where?
It's on my wall.
Oh.
And we're back.
We're back.
5 hours later.
Yes.
So we have, we'll call her Rebecca B. says, I can't read it.
What tasks have challenged you the most? Well, I don't really participate
In the challenges.
But the most challenging thing for me is that he's gone all the time. So he works all the time, and then after work he just comes straight down here and then gets home at midnight on Saturday and then goes to work again. So that's...
It's a means to an end.
I mean, I'm kind of used to it because we're both in the film industry, so we both have stupid hours anyhow, so we only see each other in passing a lot. So that was kind of I guess it prepared us for not seeing each other at all, hardly. And then tasks you enjoyed the most. Have you enjoyed anything?
Yeah, I enjoyed all of it. So,
Oh, it's so cold.
it challenged me the most. So,
No, the task you enjoyed the most.
I don't get to answer the challenge?
Yeah, you can. Sorry. She's my friend. No.
Okay.
No, just
So what
kidding.
tasks have challenged me the most? I would say anything in the metalworking world. And it's not what you think. Like the work is fine and it's easy enough as long as you measure and twice and cut once or whatever that rule is. And just kind of be smart about things. But what they don't tell you is that with using the 4.5-inch angle grinders to make the cuts, especially when you're inside the bus, and we did most of that work in the summertime where like it's hot up in here, and you want to be wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, and then all of a sudden you have like 2,000 degree sparks. You have 2,000 degree sparks shining, flying everywhere. And it's like burning you in every part of your body that doesn't have an article of clothing over the top of it. I would say that was the most challenging. So
Task that you've enjoyed the most.
Task I've enjoyed the most. I think the math, honestly, getting to do like all the figuring for
You're a nerd.
the roof raise and the transitions and stuff. Like it's been super fun. That's my technical answer. The best answer is any time that my dad has been around to help has been the most, what's it called? Enjoyed. Like,
moment.
so not to put like a damper on anything or whatever, but like a couple of years ago, we thought we were going to lose him to a cancer thing. and he's living in a miraculous recovery right now. And as a
You
child,
said recovery.
And as a child, like I can do, or not as a child, as an adult, I can do
No, you're
all
a
the
child.
things that I'm doing because of all the time that we spent in the barn that's right there. And he taught me to weld when I was 10 years old. And so anything that I know about problem solving in context of building something or fixing something, anything that I know in those lanes, was taught by him. So getting to be here and actually work on this project with him when just a short time ago we didn't know if he was going to be around at all, it's been a really big thing. I'm crying now.
Yes.
Thinking about it, tearing up. So let's move on. And my mom has even got to help on a lot of the days too that my dad's been out of the country or out of somewhere or just not around or sick or whatever. And it's super fun to have her on projects also. And in the meantime, she always keeps us happy and healthy and fed too. So love her too.
Where are you going first? Probably Polly's Island
Yes.
to see our friends Stacy, Jared, Morgan, Mac, and Maddie.
Do you forget their names?
Why?
I don't know.
I said Stacy, Jordan, Morgan, Mac, and Maddie. What?
This is funny. You slowed down. All right, John G says.
And then we'll go to Tucson to visit my parents.
Yes, and
But
then Alaska.
no.
No Alaska. Not Alaska's for suckers. Just kidding.
Don't say that. I think
That's
Alaska.
so rude to all the Alaskans.
Yeah, because Alaska's beautiful.
The Alaskonians.
Alaska is beautiful.
What's-
I've never been there, but Alaska is beautiful. It's just probably.
I can't see what John G says.
I don't know what happened.
We don't know how to use technology.
Nope. Just to build a bus. Did
There
you
we
pick your bus?
No. How did you pick your
how-
bus? Evaluate it. Good starting point. What's the master plan? I think we've covered the master plan. Why transition to this kind of life? What was your motivation?
Oh, good question.
And what other... I can't read.
Sorry.
What other conversions have been inspiring? Ooh.
Okay, how did you pick your bus? The bus picked us.
It found us. Like Herbie or something.
I
Do
don't
people even know what
know.
Herbie is anymore?
Yeah.
Not the Lindsay Lohan one, but the other one.
Lindsay Lohan?
She was in Herbie.
I don't
A remake, maybe. So for real though, how did you pick our bus? Actually, Victoria picked it. When we were looking,
Oh, I did pick it. Yeah.
when we were looking at an alternative lifestyle to get out of our rental property and into the master plan, which is what I said earlier. If you were listening, and if you're still here, thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, this is long.
Super long. The master plan: buying land, building a house, having a homestead, raising kids, able to be.
If you
young
have
and
any
dumb.
kids you don't want, just send us something.
Step right up.
We can't have kids, so foster or adopt. That's
All
our
right.
plan.
So anyway, I had toured a Class A motorhome that day, and I was like, "Babe, let's go see this." And she's like, "Well, I found an 18-foot travel trailer. Let's go see that." And I was like, "Man, okay, whatever." So while we were there, she's like, "I did see the coolest thing on Facebook Marketplace. It's a school bus, and I don't know what the outside looks like other than a school bus, but look at the cool pictures on the inside."
Who
And
are also our good friends now.
super awesome people,
Awesome.
the best.
Oh my
people.
God, I love them so much. Like, I don't know why we don't see them more
I
often.
don't either. So anyway, fun fact about that, I had seen the same bus like a month before, but I was like, she'd never live in a bus. I'm not even gonna show her. So I didn't show her. So then after we had toured this miserable looking 18.5-foot travel trailer, she's like, look at this picture. And I'm like, yes, call them now. We're gonna go now. What a great idea, babe. We should live in a bus. I'm glad you had that idea. Side note, I was like, yes. Anyway, so we went and looked at that bus, and they were super awesome. But then
We even spent the night in it.
They let us spend the night. It was super fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But then the money thing didn't
people.
work out on our bank's side, and it was kind of a jerk move on their part.
Yeah.
Not the people, but the bank.
Yeah, bank.
That's a different story for a different day. Anyway, here we are in our own bus that we are building ourselves because for some reason the bank was okay with that. I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. But
So anyway, but so back to that, like when we decided, our only option is to build a bus, we were like, man, we just love that one, which was also of all things, it was the same year model. It was
yeah.
a 2002 Thomas Build safety liner. So we just looked until we found one of those, and we found a stupid good deal in Moyock, North Carolina. And so we drove there and picked up this bus.
Yeah, he had 3 of them, and I picked this one.
It was the least janky.
Well, and I liked its
least
number.
janky.
It was like number 918.
It was 918, so it was like doubles. Super fun. All right, what else? What other conversions have been inspiring?
Well, you skipped why transition to this kind of lifestyle, the motivation.
Oh, we already talked about that.
Oh.
That's part of the master plan. Like, it's a lifeboat into the next phase.
Yeah.
And then what conversions have been inspiring? So there's a group actually we kind of have a standing invitation with them on our way to Tucson. It's beginning from this morning. It's like an old
people too.
Greyhound bus or something that they're doing, which is super fun. We actually bought our battery bank setup and inverter converter and stuff based on their YouTube channel.
And security stuff.
And there's security stuff. We're just basically copying them. Roof Ray's ideas came from the off-grid schoolie. He's got a lot of cool things going on. And then we gave a shout out to Kels and Jay. They inspired us how not to do a roof race.
Yeah.
And they were super gracious and cool when I asked them kind of basically just like that if I could use that story in the video that we released last week. Which is part 1 of our 4-part roof race
We
series.
weren't dissing them. They're like
they're
awesome,
super cool,
sweet people.
I mean, we've never met them in person. Maybe
but
one day.
Yeah, I would love to meet them.
But their bus is awesome, so check out
really cool
Kels
people.
and Jay. We'll put links in the description.
Absolutely.
As a new YouTuber, I always forget to say things like that.
We'll put a link right down there.
Right down there. Those are the 3 that I can think of at the moment.
There's a lot of them.
And then the stories, like I mentioned earlier, with that guy inspired me, then I inspired him. So I guess he's kind of an inspiration, we could say.
Yeah.
Just
everything inspires us.
Just inspired by nature. Yeah. I don't know. But man, this has been fun.
Yeah.
I think it's been super cool.
I don't know if you're still here, but
I don't know. I bet they're still there.
Whatevs.
There's that one guy. If you're still there, go ahead and click the like button.
And subscribe if you're not a
I don't
subscriber.
know. The time code right now will be in the ballpark of 58 minutes. If you're still watching this, it'd be super fun if you would just comment exactly.
And be like,
this time
hey,
code right now. Hey,
yeah.
I'm with you at 57.
Hey, I lasted. I didn't bail. Yeah.
I don't know. Just do fun things like that. And also, we encourage people to subscribe to the channel. And definitely like the videos, comment on the videos, share the videos. We need more people to know what we're doing so that we can continue to do this. Because I've kind of grown accustomed to being a YouTuber now. It's super fun. So just keep it going. Keep the YouTube train flowing. And if you want to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, we would certainly approve of that as well.
Yes.
So
and comment if you want me to be in more videos. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
no, she should be.
I'm
more
not
videos.
going to be in more videos.
She needs to be.
No.
So other than that, thank you guys very much, and as always,
Bus love.